I'm making this video here today, kind of going over what I think personally is one of the best side hustles you can do as a teenager. So, I think the best side hustle is kind of buying and flipping vehicles on used item websites. Specifically, I've done a lot of garden tractor flipping. I started when I was about 12 years old. I just kind of wanted like a little tractor, something I could drive around. I'd always loved driving stuff around, motors and wheels, stuff I could work on. Um, and I don't live on a huge piece of property, so a full-size tractor, something like that, was never in the equation. Most of my stuff I found on Facebook Marketplace, or I found a few on Craigslist. And then, of course, word of mouth, you hear someone selling something, or you see it on the side of the road or whatnot, or you just see it sitting in a field and you find the owner of the field and ask them if they're willing to sell it. So, you just kind of have to get creative in how you find it. There's a lot of options out there. You just got to open your eyes and do some good research. Well, I started with a Toro lawn tractor from the 80s that I found from a guy on Marketplace. It was a 38-inch deck. It was very small. I'll put a picture of it up here. And the guy gave me a small utility trailer with it as well. So I ended up paying $150 for that. I put nothing into it. I just kind of drove around for a little while. I ended up selling that for $200 a few months down the road. I didn't have anything else for about a year. I was just kind of doing my thing, doing the daily Marketplace scroll. I found a 2016 Troy-Bilt Pony lawnmower, which I believe was a 42-inch deck. I found that it was at a guy's farm, but I found it on Marketplace. I bought it for $100, didn't run, had flat tires. I pushed it up the ramps into the back of the truck with like 4 people, barely got in there. Ended up needing the magneto thing that goes around the flywheel to help power it. It needed that, and then I think it just needed a carb clean. I ended up getting it running in a couple days. It was after I got the parts. I had that for about a year. I put a bagger system on it and used it to collect leaves, doing some landscaping work with it, mowed a little bit with it. So that made me money for my little business in addition to just reselling it. I paid $100 for that, put $300 in parts into it, and then I sold that for $500 about a year after I bought it, year and a half after I bought it. Going into the winter, I kind of wanted something a little better than just a little snowblower for snow removal, so I found a deal on 2 John Deeres. It was a 1996 John Deere LX178 with the 38-inch snowblower. It was pretty beat up. Doesn't have a hood, but it runs really good. I haven't really used it much this season because we don't really get any snow in Massachusetts anymore, so that kind of sucks. But I might be selling that or trading it for something else, and I can talk about trades a little bit later. Also in that deal, I got a John Deere 116H. I think it was in 84, I believe. The guy said the motor was blown on it, but it wasn't locked up or anything, but that thing was just so far gone. Everything was there, but it would need so much money and so much work. I just sold it for $100. So I paid $120 for that and a plow that it came with, and then I sold them both for $120. I just broke even on that. And then the LX178, I paid $184. I put $75 in parts into it. I might be trading it for a 48-inch Bobcat walk-behind mower, which I've looked on Marketplace and they're worth close to $500. So if you're doing these deals and you put in the description, open to trades, I'd say that's a good idea. I've had people message me offering me a jackhammer brand new in the box. I've had people offer me subwoofers for my truck. These crappy eBay wheels for a car. Some guy offered me his wife and 2 kids. I don't really want that. You definitely got to have some patience dealing with idiots on Marketplace and whatnot. Definitely for trades, I'd say open your eyes to them. It might seem like a little more work, but you might be able to make a little more money off of it, especially if you can do some research. So I still have the LX178 in the yard. I took that to a tractor pull or a garden tractor pull in Connecticut, and I was absolutely clowned. I'll put a video of it here. That was definitely pretty embarrassing because it has like grass tires and no weight or anything, and it didn't even pull the sled empty with no weight on it. It is what it is. That gave me the itch to get something a little more beefy when I found an 84 John Deere 214. So that's a little more into the garden tractor class opposed to the riding lawnmower. Didn't have a deck, but it had the nice ag tires, so that kind of caught my eye. The guy didn't run when he sold it to me, but I threw a new carburetor. I kind of bought that as a winter project, but I ended up wanting something even bigger after I got that mainly because I couldn't really get it running right. I mean, it was a nice tractor. I think it had a 4-speed, so 1 through 4 and then reverse transmission. So that was nice, but so I paid $250 for that, and then I put $50 into it in parts. That was just the new carburetor and I think some new fuel lines. And then I ended up selling that for $450 about a month after I bought it. And then that brings me to this machine behind me, which is a 1979 John Deere 400. So it's got dual hydraulic hookups in the front, and then it's also got one in the rear. So I could put a 3-point hitch on the rear, 4-way plow in the front, or I could get a bucket loader for the front as well. This is borderline a tractor, a very small tractor. It's got a locked rear end, so it kind of goes through anything. It runs good. I fired it up in 0 degrees, starts right up, no problems. I did have to put a new battery into this. So the guy I bought it from basically had probably 300 John Deere garden tractors. The guy was kind of a nut, but I was fortunate enough to find a good deal on it about an hour away from my house. I paid $1,300 for this. I put about $100 in parts into it. It had to get the fuel system running right. So I put a new fuel line from the tank all the way up to the carb. And then after that, it ran unbelievably. It gives me no issues, starts up, runs good. Once you learn how to kind of mess with the throttle and the choke on these, you can really get them to run right. But you got to learn that. It takes a bit. That's really it. I threw a coat of paint on the wheels, and it's definitely a nice tractor. I'm gonna keep this one around for a while. I think I could sell this for close to $2,000 with no attachments. So I don't think I'm ever gonna plan to sell it, but that's what I probably could sell it for if I wanted to. Also, another good thing you can kind of do is if people have, old weed whackers or just old stuff that they're like, that doesn't run anymore, I don't want to deal with it. It's worth taking it and seeing if you can get it going and sell it for $50 or anything. And if you can't get it going, who cares? Just throw it on the side of the road. Someone will take it. It doesn't have to sit in your yard. I think this is definitely a great side hustle that you can do as a kid, because as long as your parents are willing to drive you out, or you can find someone who can deliver it to you, because it's easy and it's fun to mess with the machines when you're young. Before you have your license, just something you can drive around, and it gives you a lot of mechanical knowledge. It's definitely a good thing you can try and get into. It's just try reselling stuff with motors. I mean, you fix stuff, you make some money as a kid, and you just get some great knowledge. So I hope this video is entertaining. Maybe it'll encourage you to start doing it, making some money. As long as you got a good work ethic and you're willing to try new stuff and give it a chance, I mean, you'll really be able to excel in this world. So thank you for watching.